aligned movement has witnessed consistent growth, now encompassing over 122 nations. This expansion underscores NAM's enduring appeal, attracting a diverse array of countries seeking to maintain a non-aligned stance. Over the decades, the movement has evolved into a global forum, providing smaller and newly independent nations a collective platform on the international stage.
Karibu tena, tunaendelea na taarifa zaidi kutoka hapa UBC TV, ambapo zaidi ya wajumbe 5,000 wamefika nchini kwa ajili ya kuhudhuria mkutano wa NAM, na mkutano huo unafanyika Munyonyo na maeneo mengine kama Serena Kigo wilayani Wakiso. Waziri wa ICT na mwongozo wa taifa Dr. Chris Baryomunsi anazungumzia umuhimu wa mkutano huo.
We are starting with a meeting of the technical people, and thereafter there will be a meeting of ministers of foreign affairs, and then the summit, that is the meeting of heads of state and government. So we have confirmations. They have been oscillating between 30 and 40 of the heads of state, but they are yet to start jetting in. But the technical people and the ministers of foreign affairs are the ones who are coming in. But in the course of the week, we should be able to see heads of state and government coming in the country. And we are set, we are ready as a country. Today is day one. We are starting with a meeting of the technical people who will be reviewing the documents, because you see NAM meetings take successive steps. So now, like today and tomorrow, the technical people will be reviewing the documents coming from the previous meeting as they prepare the outcome document which will come out of these summits and the Kampala Declaration. Well, there are many global issues. You see, NAM at the beginning fought for independence of different countries which were under colonization, and sovereignty of countries is very key. As you notice, much as we are sovereign, much as we are independent, you still get machinations from the Western world that wants to subdue a number of countries, including Uganda. Recently, we passed laws here in the parliament, but some countries say they are not comfortable with the law passed by a national independent parliament. So those issues, the sovereignty of countries, international peace, how do we resolve conflict?
Muungano wa NAM unaundwa na nchi wanachama 120 na ulianzishwa mwaka 1950 kulinda maslahi ya nchi zinazoendelea kufuatia kuibuka kwa vita vya dunia. Muungano huo uliasisiwa na nchi mbili za Yugoslavia na India mwaka 1950, samahani, na sasa hivi ni kwamba mwanahistoria mkongwe wa chuoni Chambogo Profesa Robert Odhiambo anaelezea zaidi faida za Uganda kuwa moja wa mwanachama wa NAM.
Because Uganda joined the non-aligned movement in 1964 in the conference or summit in Cairo. But before that, NAM had started its conferences earlier. NAM is an idea that was started by the then president of Yugoslavia, Joseph Tito. This man had just broken off from the USSR, which is today Russia. And he was wondering how he and his country would survive the big forces of Cold War, because during the Cold War there was a division of the world into two, or what they normally call the bipolar situation where we had the Western capitalists led by the United States and followed by a number of countries from Western Europe. And then we had USSR leading the communist bloc, and so many other countries in Eastern Europe and Asia. And these two were fighting a psychological war, which was called a Cold War, through their armed forces of NATO and the Warsaw Pact. And therefore these people, having just attained independence, wanted to see how they could survive this huge wind of the Cold War. And for that matter, they decided to come up with a force which they named non-aligned. They didn't want to be capitalist, they didn't want to be communist, they wanted to be neutral. But this neutrality does not mean that they were not doing some sort of communism. Because if you see, Yugoslavia was a socialist country, but they didn't want to go and fight in terms of supporting NATO or Warsaw Pact. So convincing other people, they were joined later by the then Prime Minister of India, Nehru, and then 5 countries came to be, including Yugoslavia, India, then Egypt, Ghana, and Indonesia. And those are the first who sat in the summit of 1961 in Belgrade. We are moving in the right direction. We are adapting to technology. We are adapting to a number.
Naam, mtazamaji wa UBC TV, hadi hapo sina la kuongeza, ila nakushukuru sana kwa kuwa nasi toka nilipoanza kusoma taarifa hii ya habari siku ya leo. Tuonane tena kesho panapo majaliwa.